Everybody, welcome to the daily recap for March 15, 2022. So today we came into the market, we were leaning bullish, and then basically this afternoon I was thinking that we were going to get the same sort of move as February 24th. And if you guys remember, that's all the way back here, and pretty much the day looked the exact same. We got that move in the morning, bullish consolidation, and it ended up holding the EMA support every single time we retested it, and then we got continuation higher. So if you look at that day and today, right away, I mean, that's what I thought of in the morning. Figured that's the type of day we would get, and we did get that type of day. But yeah, pretty similar from a price action standpoint. Obviously, that end of that day we had a little bit more of a squeeze, but pretty good squeeze as well today. In regards to what we were on, I was looking at tech, basically for a push to the upside. I noticed pretty quickly out the gate that it was the value-based tech, not the high PE stuff that was moving. So that was the focus there. Intraday, you did have a bounce on oil. Oil has been trading inverse to the market, so that's something to note. And I didn't get sucked into the oil. I didn't do anything really on the oil side. I did a couple of the small stuff, scalped it to the upside. But other than that, was mainly focusing on tech, holding it through that pullback, holding the calls, holding the equity, and then just waiting for the next leg up into the close because the EMA supports stayed intact, all that good stuff. Couple of things that we did today, I should say. So we did do a bunch of things on the long side right out the gate. As always, Tesla's one of my favorite things to play. We were long that. We took that long, traded to the upside right out the gate, and then we on that pullback, it was extended down into the 762, and we ended up taking it long again, holding it pretty much the entire day. We rolled that Tesla as well into 850 calls, which ended up going up nicely. We were in coop long right out the gate as well. I figured this could get a nice little squeeze, maybe a rollover in the afternoon. I did get a nice squeeze. We rolled actually pretty quickly on the equity after that first 5-point push in the morning into 80 calls, which ended up working out quite nicely as well. Other than that, we did some, we tried a little bit of INPP this morning. Got a little bit of a pop on it. Ended up just stopping out of that one pretty quickly because it didn't get any follow through. We did some Indo, which actually worked out nicely. We got about a couple points on that to the upside long this morning. So that was a decent little trade. Stayed away from it in the afternoon. Didn't touch that. We took Roku short this morning at 98.33. Ended up exiting that short because it wasn't breaking the low. There's a little bit of a double bottom there. So we just took the starter off, which ended up being the right decision because you got a nice squeeze after that back to the upside. So that was one to definitely stay away from on the short side. So decision was correct there based off of the technicals. Shop, we took this long at 532. Played that long the entire day. We also did roll into 620 calls on that, which worked okay. KSCP. Took this long at 560, literally high of the day. And we ended up getting stopped out of this one on the starter pretty quickly. So, tried it, didn't work out, and it is what it is. And the reason for going long, guys, is that downtrend break on the daily. It had quite a bit of room higher, so it was worth the shot, in my opinion. We did some hour long. Basically, on the unhalt, we grabbed it long, played it into the 5 bucks. We made a point on that, which is a decent trade to the upside. We did some W long from the 1480 level, played that to the 18s. That's a good little trade. UPST we took long this morning at 92 bucks. Played that to the upside into the 98s. Then we also played it at the end of the day, grabbing it at 93.70, playing it into the high of the day as well. We rolled that into 120 calls, which worked out okay. We're holding those overnight. So decent trade on UPST there. We tried a little bit of ISUN long. We're swinging this. Took it at 413s. Decent little gap up, or decent little push on that. We had 9 long as well at 308. Played that into the 330 level. Didn't end up swinging that trade just because it wasn't up enough. So ended up getting out of that. But, a little bit of a scalp, not bad. We took some MARPs, which we ended up just getting out flat because it didn't break out of last day's high. But it was worth a shot at the time. Took it at 11.58, pushed into the 11.85, and then basically was unable to break out. So we ended up taking that starter off. Other than that, equity side, pretty straightforward. Mainly, Tesla, UPST were the biggest plays of the day. Option side, a couple different things. We were in, like I said, the Tesla roll. We were in the Coop roll, which worked out nicely. We did some GDRX, 15 calls, which worked out pretty good. LMND, we tried some 20 calls, which grinded higher, but nothing, huge in regards to a move to the upside. We had some Neo 15 calls out the gate, which ended up working pretty well. I think we got about 80% on those. We had QQQ 30 calls, 330 calls right out the gate for tomorrow. We ended up swinging a quarter of these and made over 100% on that trade. AVGO, we took 600 calls out the gate as well. Relative strength there. $3 into the $8 level, 140% on those calls roughly. So it was a good trade. ABBV, notice the relative strength on that range breakout on the daily. Had the 155s, ended up swinging a piece of that. Ended up going up over 100% as well. We tried some Lee at the end of the day, just ended up taking that off flat because it wasn't really doing anything. We had some Laser, LAZR, 1250s out the gate, which worked out quite nice. Not a huge move on it, 57%, but decent for a smaller name with not a ton of range. We have some Sol overnight as well, the 6 calls. Notice there was quite a bit of strength in the solar names, the smaller ones especially today, so went after a couple. AMD, we had the 110 calls long, which we are swinging a piece of right out the gate. Those worked out nicely. We ended up taking those. Let me just take a look at what they're up. We took them at 80 cents, and obviously we almost got them in the money there. So 80 cents, about 200% move and change. We had some Codex Lotto, which we ended up just getting out of at the end of the day there. Didn't really do much. We had McDonald's 330s, which worked out nicely. We had those right out the gate, the 230s, I should say, not 330s. At 285, ended up working pretty good. CBS, tried the 108s, which worked out pretty decent as well. We had those right out the gate. I think there was a buy that came out from IB Investors Business Daily or whatever, IBD, which popped them up a little bit. But we took those at 49 cents. We almost got 100% on that trade. Pretty close. It was like 95%. Pretty good there. Walmart 145 calls we took long, which those worked out nicely. They ended up getting in the money. We ended up getting 120% on those. We talked about ABBV, Laser, Neo. Oh, we took some Apple as well this morning, the 155s. And we ended up just taking these off when we got this first push in the last day high. 30% trade, nothing much there. The nice thing about today was when things worked, they worked out well. When things didn't work, they didn't really pull back to your stops. You kind of just exited because everything just grinded to the upside. Really good day of trading, easy day to trade in my opinion. FOMC tomorrow, we'll see what happens. Not expecting anything unexpected, but you never know, right? Market in general, I think today was a squeeze, some short covering before FOMC, and obviously some buyers stepped in at the end of the day. We take a look at the market. Market did reclaim some short-term EMA support. It's below the, I'd say, mid-term EMA support right there. Downtrend is broken technically, but not confirmed. In the short term, still intact on the longer term trade. We're back above inverted head and shoulders on the daily. It's a pretty big inflection point. We'll see what happens tomorrow, guys. It's going to be a big day. We do stream, guys, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. every single day. Tomorrow, we do have the free pre-market analysis as well, so join us on YouTube for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, go to SpartanTrading.com. Have a good one, and yeah, trade safe tomorrow.